By the time I was 5, I think I was doing about 6 hours a day, and I was feeling really burnt out by the time I was 14. I won this, yes. I finally achieved my life goal, but also at what cost? If I didn't win, I wouldn't eat. I've been studying this game for 6-8 hours every single day since I was a kid.
But was it worth it? Okay, so the other night we were talking about tournaments, and we're like, Nemo, why don't you come join us? And you respond, I would rather do anything else. So what would it take to get you back into competitive chess?
You guys said you were going to go play a tournament, and I was like, that's insane. That is absolutely insane because it would be so much time, so much money. Don't you just think you can do something better with that time? But anyways, to bring me back into a tournament, it would just have to make a lot of sense. Like whether that's financially or content or for charity. Like there's ways that I would play a classical
chess camp 2 ?
Well, see, Alex, I didn't win, so I didn't get money. No, I'm joking.
But you got a lot of content.
I did get a lot of content. It was good content. But I think
I did see you cry a lot at the tournament.
Girl, I feel like I was crying for 50% of it. Like outside of the chessboard, if I wasn't on screen, I was probably crying. But to be fair, I'm not going to throw anyone under the bus here, but a few girls were also crying. So
we did a compilation at some point asking people how many times, if they'd cried during the tournament, and so many people had cried.
Who did not cry?
Jennifer, you probably.
I mean, that makes sense.
Like Dina cried after our match. She was just hiding in the closet and I felt terrible. When Jennifer, you beat me, I was depressed the entire day. It really messes with you.
It really messes with you. Classical chess is not for the weak.
Can you explain why?
I mean, oh my gosh. I don't even know how to explain it, but there's something about playing a game, a singular game, for 6 hours and then losing it. And the only reason you lost is because of you. Like it's all your fault. That just really affects something in your psyche. I don't know what it is. I don't have the science behind it, but everybody I've ever talked to is like, oh yeah, chess is one of the toughest games to lose in.
Yeah, and I just realized for people who don't know what chess camp is, last year Andrea and I hosted a tournament and we invited 7 of our friends, including Nemo, Andrea, and a Cramling, and we did a chess tournament, classical format. Andrea, you had a tough tournament.
The only game that I scored a half point was against Nemo. I lost every other game, and I also went to the hospital in the middle of the tournament.
And Nemo cried because she drew Andrea.
I did not cry because I drew Andrea. I was crying because I was just so relieved.
You're probably just overwhelmed.
I know, I'm sorry, I'm kidding.
No, it's okay. But honestly, it was really funny because that morning, Andrea barged into my room. But you knocked, and I was like...
She was sitting in the dark crying on chess space, and it made me so sad, and it reminded me.
Yeah.
And okay, I have to ask, so we're going to go into this. Nemo has a very intense upbringing story where it was very strict, and this is not even doing it justice, how she was raised to play chess. I will let Nemo talk to that, but I'm curious, how much do you think of you just feeling the pain and the misery of playing a classical is purely just built from childhood? And how much of it do you think is something you could unlearn and maybe not put so much pressure on yourself? So you're like, hey, I'm playing this tournament in Spain. The goal is to stream. If I don't win, it's not going to destroy me. Or you think that's just something you can never lose?
That's such a good question because I have asked myself this question. All my friends have asked me this question. My therapist has asked me this question. And I think it's something that I have worked a lot on. I think if chess camp was a little bit better, like if chess camp happened again this year, I would for sure be in a better mindset for it.
So you're telling me you would come?
Not if it's classical. Okay, if it's classical, it better be for a really fucking good cause. Like a really good cause. Like there better be a reason I'm playing.
We're gonna save dying children. Would that do it for you?
Yeah, okay, that would do it.
Okay.
Like you know what Tunde is doing? You might not know him, but he's he does chess in slums in Africa, and he basically like brings chessboards. They produce chessboards now themselves, and he hosts events for kids and basically puts a lot of kids through. So something like that, like if there was a really big reason for it, I would do it. But just like myself playing classical chess, I'm just of the opinion nowadays that why do you want to watch me play classical chess? I feel like my skill set is better used elsewhere, and I would just rather have other people watch, Magnus or Divya or I don't know, Humpy Kanaru or Juanjun. Like, there's more interesting classical games because you're just there. You're not talking on the board. It's not like the pieces are doing a dance. You're just kind of moving pieces, right? So if you want to watch a good game, I just don't understand why you'd necessarily want to watch me.
That's how I felt too. Except I know it's really entertaining to watch me lose and my chess is bad. So that's why people like watching. But I felt the same way. I felt like it's not my role to fill out. But I definitely do think, though, especially now that people see how dynamic you are, like you just walked Paris Fashion Week. You have built such a great audience for everything else that you do. I bet people would want to watch specifically just for you, not for the chess. So that's my answer.
And another question relating to if you could not be upset when you lose, do you think part of being upset when you lose is because chess is still part of your brand and it takes away from that if you lose in classical?
I don't necessarily think that it would take away from my brand just because I'm not like too sure how many people would even find out about the result. Like, I don't know how
but
many
elo go down,
Yeah, elo go down is always a concern for sure when it comes to classical chess. But personally for me, I know Alex at the very least does enjoy some levels.
I enjoy when elo go up.
That's a really good way of putting it. I don't really enjoy it that much if my elo goes up. I'm like I wouldn't say I'm indifferent. I just care a lot more about winning. And I can win in other things, if that makes sense. Like it doesn't have to be chess and I can get my fill of that. So if I'm winning in other things, I don't feel the need to play any classical chess because my elo going up just doesn't really affect my life.
Was there ever a time you really loved playing chess? And do you think you fell out of love with chess?
I think I really loved playing chess when I was 3. Like, God. No, I'm not even joking. But I have such clear... Do you guys remember anything from when you were 3?
Not from when I was 3, I think.
Okay.
Well, except the one time that I took part of a mattress sponge and I put it up in my nose because I thought that's how you made cheese.
Wait,
and
what?
And me and this other girl in preschool, like I would give her some of my mattress and she'd put it in her nose and then she'd give me some of hers, I put it in mine, and then we'd eat the like little
Alex
nose booger.
Was dealing mattress.
But then I forgot to take it out of my nose one time and I ended up in the ER and my parents kept asking, did you put anything in your nose? And I kept saying no. And then they found this mattress and I never told them how it got up there. But that's really my earliest memory. But you were playing chess. I was making nose cheese. We both have our stories.
Now at least your parents know what happened that one time.
No, honestly, it really is my most vivid memory and I'm not proud of it.
That's very funny. But I think it's like you remember it because it's something that's so psychologically, like whether it's trauma, I don't know I don't want to put words in your mouth. But like you remember that because maybe it was a moment of like embarrassment, like, oh my gosh, this happened. For me, every single memory is like that. I just feel emotions really strongly, which I've discovered through therapy and stuff. But yeah, I definitely like chess when I was 3. And I remember basically every tournament I've played.
And can you tell us first how you got into chess? Why did you start playing when you were 3?
If you're enjoying this conversation, my sister and I post 3 exclusive Patreon episodes. They're their own solo podcasts once a month. The link is in the description below. We also have a Discord where you can give us thoughts and feedback, and there's other BTS content. So if you want to support the podcast, there's the Patreon. Thank you guys for listening. Now back to the episode.
So I was living in Antibes in France, and it's a very chill, relaxed beach town vibe in France, southern France. And there was this bakery across the street from a chess club on the way to the beach that I would go to every day. And then one day I went to go get cookies at the bakery, and then opposite the street was the chess club, and I actually looked on Google Maps. It's still there.
Wow.
Yeah, it's still there. So there were some people playing the game, and I was like, oh, the like horsey looks so cute. And I just wanted to go play with a horsey, and then I was taught the rules, and that's kind of how I got into it. Yeah. So very sort of natural transition, I would say. Like it was just a game, but then turns out chess is really complicated.
So then where did it go to from there?
I just went and started playing at the club, and then I was taught some basic like ideas and concepts. And I started playing tournaments locally when I was 4 years old, and I did really well in them and ended up on like the Nice Martin. It was like a newspaper nearby. and I played French like qualifiers, like national qualifiers and stuff like that. And then I played in Corsica. And, like,
When you were 4?
Yeah, I was 4. Yeah.
And what's the age range of people playing in French qualifiers?
I think it was like 8-year-olds.
So just a 4-year-old up against Elise.
Yeah.
It's quite a sight to see.
It was fun. And then when I was 5, I moved to Finland, and then I won the Finnish national championships for under 10 open. And so it was like all guys. I was the only girl. And yeah, there's like this funny picture of me, and then there's 2 kids like up here, just like tiny.
So after you won the Finnish national champion, were your parents like, oh, she's a genius, she has to do chess?
So, I myself got myself into the predicament because I told the newspapers as a 5-year-old that I wanted to win world youth. Like I wanted to become a world champion, basically. Obviously, as like a 5-year-old, the only championship you can realistically win is the World Youth Chess Championships. But yeah, my parents took what I said really seriously. So, they thought for a long time that this is absolutely what I wanted. And I was like, at some point, like, I don't really know if this is still what I want, but they weren't like taking no for an answer. So we just really worked on that goal. And I came second in 2008 at the World Youth Chess Championship.
How old were you and what did the training look like leading up to that?
It was, at 4 years old, I wasn't training that much. But by the time I was 5, I think I was doing about 6 hours a day.
Of chess?
Yeah, of chess.
And did you enjoy it? Do you remember that?
I did enjoy it at the start because I had a coach in Finland, Joni, who would come over and like give me puzzles. And it was basically like, having a babysitter, but you would play chess with your babysitter. And it was really wholesome and it was fun. And like we'd go to the park, feed the ducks and stuff like that. So it was a good time. I think what really changed that whole mindset is when obviously at some point, right, like you start playing against other kids who have had equal years and perhaps even more training than I have. And I started running into this issue when I was around 7 and 8. There were some girls in my age category at the World Youth Chess Championships that were so insanely good. Up to my like Zansaya and like Mama Zara and stuff. And I still remember them. And there's just this moment from when I was 8 years old. And it was like the 3 of us, like, Zansaya came first, I came second, Mama Zara came third. And it was like, oh yeah, we're probably going to be playing against each other for a really long time. So Mama Zara is on the Azerbaijani team. And I think Zansaya hasn't played the Grand Prix as much recently, but she's like a Grandmaster and stuff nowadays. So it's pretty crazy. But yeah, it was just really competitive from a really early age. So I just had to start putting in more work if I wanted to achieve this goal of mine, which was to become world chess champion. And my parents sort of took that also as the opportunity, like, oh, she wants to become world chess champion. She's got good aspirations. We also want her to go to a really good university. And this is I think, like a lot of parents can have this mentality regardless of your ethnic background, but I would say it's a pretty East Asian or Asian mentality overall. Coming in as like an immigrant family, we don't have necessarily as many opportunities. So they feel like you have to work really hard to kind of prove your worth and to get into a good university and all that stuff. So yeah, we just started working towards this goal that was, 10 years down the line.
And you said there were some moments where you realized, oh, this might not be what you want to do. Only if you're comfortable sharing, could you share some of those moments? And did you try to ever vocalize to your parents that maybe you don't want to pursue competitive chess your entire childhood?
Yeah, I vocalized. So what ended up happening, it's pretty complicated because obviously it wasn't just chess alone. But I ended up, because of the time I was spending playing chess, I just kind of ended up having no friends. Not necessarily at the start, even because my parents didn't allow me to have friends or anything, but because if I went downstairs and I was hanging out with friends, I would be like, oh shoot, I gotta go do my puzzles or whatever. So I would like come back up and then the kid would be, I remember this so clearly. I was like hanging out with this kid in my neighborhood and this was in Finland and we were just hanging out and he was like, oh, I'll be back in 15 minutes. And I left while he was having lunch or something. And then I never saw him again. And I saw he was like playing downstairs by himself and I was like, but I can't go down and say hi because I gotta work on my chess. So it's just things like that. Like I was definitely self-imposed at the start. But
Wait, so you were the one choosing to do puzzles, or was someone else telling you have to go do that?
Yeah, this was like when I was younger, when I was like 5-6 years old.
Wait, so you had work ethic from when you were 5-6 years old? You were like, I need to go do chess
That's
puzzles? Because I feel like
insane.
you don't get that cognition at such an early age usually.
I don't know if I was like entirely cognizant of it necessarily. But yeah, I definitely would not do things so I could work on the chess. And at that time, I would say I still found it kind of fun, like at 5-6. But then I very quickly realized at like 7-8 that, oh, this is kind of insane. Like I had friends at school, but I was only hanging out with them in school. So it's very different. I never really had time to go to parties. This is also pre-social media, so it's like very hard to necessarily stay in contact with
people. And at 7 and 8, you shouldn't be using social media, honestly.
Yeah. But it's also in northern Finland, so it's kind of like if you don't hang out with the people you do know, there's not that many people to hang out with. But yeah, I was going to these like other classes and stuff, so it was fine. But what ended up like really affecting my mental was when I was around 9 and 10, we started planning a move to Canada from Finland. And it was when I was 3 and 4, I don't really remember moving out of China or like, I don't have it didn't impact me. But I think at 9 or 10, realizing like, oh, I've been learning Finnish for the last 6 years. You know, I do speak English. Yeah. But also at the same time, like I'm so used to my Finnish classmates. I'm used to the Finnish school system. I've grown up like in this pretty small city. Well, it's the 5th biggest city in Finland, but it's like 100K people back then. So, you know, and I was like, seriously, we're going to move to Canada. Okay. And my parents have always made those type of decisions because as a 9-year-old, what are you going to do? You can't stay behind. But I think that really changed something in me because it was like, oh, I still need to work on chess like for however long a day. But also at the same time, I'm dealing with a big international move. So after 2010, I played the World Youth Chess Championships, and I believe it was in Greece. We literally did not return to Finland. And I only gave my school and all my classmates and friends like a 2-week notice because they wanted to keep it like on the down low. So I didn't tell anyone about it. And then I was just like gone. And I think that really affected me because this is like my whole life that I'd known. And I just uprooted everything and was like, okay, we're out. So I sort of like not resent, but I feel like I missed out on a lot because it was pretty sudden. And during this whole time, I was still working on chess. Like I never really got to say goodbye or anything. And then, yeah, I just got bullied a ton in Canada. Like I moved schools so many times because we were just moving. So it was just like, I guess kind of tough to integrate, I would say.
How was it tough to integrate? What did you feel like when you moved to Canada, and where did you move to?
So the first city I went to school in was Toronto. I went to 5 schools in like one semester, like 6-month period. Basically.
Oh my God, that's insane. I don't understand how that works.
Yeah, it's because we were kept bouncing like Airbnbs.
Why were your parents always moving?
They were trying to find a more permanent place to move into in Toronto, but they didn't like. We first were in a hotel for 2 weeks, and they were like, okay, she should go to school, and it's pretty easy to get enrolled. If you're in the neighborhood, it's like the zip code.
What grade were you in?
This was grade 5.
Okay.
Maybe grade 4. Grade 5. When I was 10. Yeah. So it's not a great age, I think, to try to make, like, kids start getting a little judgy.
And they have their friend groups already. But also if you're moving schools like every month, you don't really have time to make friends. And then you.
Yeah. I became very, like, detached. I definitely had friends at these places. It's not like everyone was, you know, like, oh, she's a new girl. But there were definitely a lot of moments where I'm like, okay, well, I'm just going to move again. So what's the point?
Yeah.
But yeah, during this time, I was still like studying chess as much as I could. And I think it's really around when I was like 11, 12, where I was like, okay, well, nobody else does this. Low-key getting kind of bullied for this. I was being made fun of for my accent because I had a really strong like Chinese Finnish accent. They're both very distinctive languages. and it was hard to get rid of that. And I was
Can you give
like,
us a Chinese Finnish impression?
can't.
I'm really curious what it sounds
I
like.
literally can't. There's this old clip of me from when I was maybe 12 speaking English, and I just sound very different.
I'm really curious.
Yeah, I mean, your accent right now is
I'm practicing
impeccable.
my Valley Girl.
yeah.
Continue.
But yeah, that was like not fun. It was not fun. I would say middle school is by far the worst. And then I was just so depressed because like chess wasn't cool back then, you know?
Oh, I know. I was terrified. I would never tell anyone I played chess because people really did hate nerds back in the day.
Did they?
Yeah.
Like hate?
Okay, not hate, but
Yeah, but-
tease and look
yeah.
down on.
Yeah.
You're right.
I'm lucky like I didn't suffer like actual bullying. Like I never really had to, like if people were mean, I would kind of like, you know, I would definitely lash out sometimes, but I think it wasn't necessarily that. But yeah, people did not understand. People did not get it. Yeah, feel you.
So what school did you finally settle into, and did that help with some of your depression?
So yeah, middle school was by far the worst, not necessarily because of the people around me. In fact, I had really nice teachers and I had like friends, but I think being a teenager is just tough. Like, I don't know, kind of mean. I'm still scared of teenagers up to this day. I don't know. It's just the vibes, I guess. And then high school is when finally things started to work out a little bit better because I played World Youth Chess Championships about a week into my high school year, and then my first freshman year of high school, and I won. So they made like a huge announcement when I came back for winning in front of the entire school. They pulled everybody into the auditorium and they had like, we had this, I don't know what they were doing. And then at the end of it, they were like, oh yeah, by the way, we have somebody who just won the World Youth World Championships. And I was there like, me? And I hadn't told anyone I played chess.
Wow.
I had middle school friends who like came to the high school because it was an international baccalaureate high school, so it was really in demand. You had to like do a test to get in and stuff like that. But anyways, I obviously had people who knew, but the people who also came to that high school with me were not people that were bullying me. Like we were all kind of like studious nerds, whatever you want to call it, together. And then all of a sudden, everyone in the school knew me as like the girl who plays chess, and I got so many congratulations. And people in high school were really nice.
Wow.
Really?
Yeah, they were really nice. I think it had to do with the fact that everybody at that high school was like aiming for like an Ivy League, like you're aiming for Cambridge or Oxford, and like
They all had to prioritize academics to get there in the first place.
Yeah, we had a lot of really cool people, like national level like swimmers, and we had a really good like orchestra and stuff like that. So anyways, like being a nerd was kind of cool there. But yeah, that actually made things like a little better. I was still having really rocky relationships with my parents because they obviously still wanted me to play a lot of chess, and I was feeling really burnt out by the time I was 14. Like I won this, yes, I finally achieved my life goal, but also at what cost, you know? Like I've been studying this game for 6-8 hours every single day since I was a kid, and I had such awful like social skills. I was such an awkward kid. That was crazy. I think you've met me when I was 14. You've known me since I was like 12.
Oh, I know. Yeah. I mean, you were like really small and you had a mushroom cut, and my dad was like, you're playing this young girl. Take her very seriously. She's very good. And I mean, dude, I'm always naturally terrified of the young kids, and like not in a stereotypical way, but like the Asian kids are terrifying. The Asians and the Russians, because they're usually top of the chess world. You don't want to mess with them. You just don't.
I remember playing you at the, I think it was the Canadian Open in on Victoria Island.
Yeah.
When I was maybe 11. And yeah, my mom was just there like, she's currently, you know, top 2-3 in Canada. Yeah, you can beat her. And she was so mad that I lost to you. Yeah, she was like, she's just, you know, she was so freaking mad that like, as a collective, like coach and I picked exchange French to play against you because it just turns the position into like a kind of equal position for black. And I did not play that position very well. And she was so mad about that. So I still remember. But yeah, it's always these kind of things that like my mom would just yell at me, and you know, she's chill. She did not care. So for context, she only cared in the context that if I win these type of games, it's good for my resume. So once I got into university, she just get like 0 fucks. Like do whatever you want. You can play as little or as much chess as you want. So I thought that was really interesting.
That was similar with my parents because my dad pushed me to play chess. And then when I won U.S. Girls Nationals, I won a full ride scholarship. And he was like, your work here is done. Do whatever you want.
Exactly. You just don't need to worry about it anymore, right? So yeah, that was tough. Like I had so many bad games, not necessarily against you, but just like I remember very clearly when I was with Andrea might not remember this, but she was asking everybody for help with her math homework at a Susan Polgar chess.
Oh my god, I remember I was doing like summer camp for my math classes to get ahead. Yeah, did you help me?
I did not help you.
Why not?
Because I was too busy working on my chess.
Oh
yeah.
You were probably like who knows math pro at that age.
I think this was when I was 15 or like
That's
maybe
really
16.
funny.
No, I couldn't have been 16, probably 15 and you're like 13 or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, but we were at the Susan Polgar chess camp together. That was another tournament I underperformed so terribly in. But like I think I was the highest rated or at least close to, and it's just those type of things that if I'm not doing well, I just remember so much more clearly than if I did do well, because I probably got yelled at a ton and I was like, okay, let's not make this mistake again. So that's why it just sticks in my memory. But I so vividly remember Andrea going around asking everyone for help with her math homework. I'm like, girl, don't you have like a chess tournament to play? Because I was trying to win.
My mom would make me take extra calculus classes over the summer. So I was like in online classes to get ahead so that before school started, I could skip a whole year of math. So I had like tests and deadlines.
That's insane.
But yeah, I was studying my chess, but not as much. But I'm curious, when you say you underperform, how much of this do you think stemmed from you just not enjoying the game anymore? And maybe that wasn't the reason, but...
So much of it probably stemmed from like not enjoying the game and being under too much pressure. One of the things that I personally always recommend when like adults ask me like, hey, I have a kid around so-and-so age, what do you recommend for them? I don't even necessarily recommend them to study chess. I recommend them getting this is obviously for people who are playing competitively already, right? I recommend them getting a sports psychologist, because once I got a sports psychologist, it helped my mental game. This is when I was 21. It helped my mental game so much better. Like so much, way more than any coach was ever able to tell me, like, if you memorize these lines, yeah, sure, I can memorize these lines. But you guys know, like in chess, you memorize one opening and your opponent just does something completely different.
You spend 3 hours prepping the man plays d4 for the first time. I look, tears streaming down my face. What was this all for?
Exactly. No, I swear I had the worst luck with that. I would prepare the one opening they play, and then I get there and they just like do just like Alex described. So
what did the sports psychologist teach you? Like, what are some examples you can give?
She really emphasized the importance of like having fun.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's so like basic.
Should we all play a chess tournament again together and have fun?
Yeah, but I don't know if classical. I don't know if it's possible in classical. Because the problem with classical, oh my gosh, once again, it's like I've been playing classical chess since I was 4. As a 4-year-old, I was so bored, man. I fell asleep when I was 5 in a tournament once because I was just tired. They're long games and you play 2 a day. So you were just playing chess for 10 hours a day, and I was like a 5-year-old.
Yeah.
I was just like fall asleep. So I personally just think classical chess was not for me, like maybe almost ever. But because that is the most commonly accepted format in the game, you just stick with it, right? Because there's nothing you can really do otherwise. It's not like, you know, Harvard's going to look at your transcript and be like, oh yeah, she won this Blitz tournament in Toronto once. So yeah, the classical chess part was tough. And by the time after I won World Youth, I thought this was going to be it. Like, this is my life goal. What else do you want? This like question I have for my parents. And they were like, well, this might not be enough for your like transcripts. We actually would like you to get, you know, become a Woman Grandmaster or like work on a title at this point. I was already a WCM for sure.
How old are you right now?
14. And then I won North American Youth when I was 15. So I got the WIM title, like just straight. And then, yeah. And then after that, after 15, they were like, okay, we got to work on the Woman Grandmaster title, and then maybe that's going to be good enough for university. Yeah, it was just like, I was doing all these things. I was doing them partly for myself, obviously, to get into a good school, but these were more my parents' like list of things they think were good for university rather than like maybe this is actually what's like, who knows, right? Mm-hmm. It's been so long past out, but high school was a lot better than middle school. It wasn't great, but it was better.
And can you talk about what the pressure felt like on you when you were trying so hard in chess and trying so hard to get into a good university?
Well, I would imagine the pressure is really similar for a lot of people who are trying to get into a good university. My biggest worry was not getting into a good enough university, but also at the same time, every time I did not win a tournament, it just felt like, I don't know, unbelievable. I think I was just trained. I'm very competitive naturally, for sure.
Oh, I know.
Yeah. Alex and I, we have been competing for a long time. But I think you can't play this game unless you're competitive. Because then at some point, it's just like, why are you sitting here for, 5-6 hours? It's a large amount of your life to spend on something that it's not necessarily instantaneously gratifying. It's not like playing a video game or, playing even poker or something. This game is slow. But I just suffered from maybe this sort of like immense pressure, both me and my parents had kind of ingrained on me from a really young age, where it was like, if I don't win, I'm not like worth anything. I was definitely tying my self-worth into winning. Mm-hmm. And that's one of the very first things I had to work on once I got out of like playing chess for 8 hours a day, was like, okay, if I lose a game, that doesn't mean I'm worthless. Because I would do all these like things. If I didn't win, I wouldn't eat, I wouldn't drink water, stuff like that. Just like,
oh my God, yeah. There's so many chess players who, if they play a game and they lose, they try to punish themselves. They don't eat. They punch walls. They do all these things which people
in the room.
Yeah, and people don't understand how crazy obsessed you get with this game and how it feels to lose.
What's the craziest thing you've done?
Oh, I've definitely punished myself and not eaten.
I remember, I think when Alex lost a game, and I was like, the day I'm like, we're gonna bring her and sneak her a bowl of dinner and put it at her door because she refused to come to dinner. I don't think you were starving an entire day, but you would definitely skip meals because you were so depressed. You didn't want to leave your room.
Like, I'd go back into my room and I'm like, there's no one to blame but myself.
That's always
you think you deserve food. No, you don't. Look at what you've done. And it's like, bro, chill. It's a game of chess.
That's literally, girl, that was literally me. I mean, I've punched so many doors and walls. Like,
I've seen photos of, I think sometimes online chess, sometimes streaming, but I was like, Nemo is a small woman, but she has so many photos of the holes in the wall.
I genuinely have like competitive Tourette's at this point. Like, yeah. I went on a date the other day. We went to Dave and Buster's, and every time I'd accidentally slip up, I'd be like, fuck. And then I have to like call myself. She's like, yeah, you're really competitive. I was like, oh yeah. I can't control it. It slips out.
It really does. I don't know what it is about chess. Somebody needs to do a study on like anger. Not necessarily anger, but like
this pure, and I think it's like if you start as a kid, it just it becomes ingrained in you.
Gosh. I had to train it out of me so badly. I used to smash plates. I've smashed so many things.
Dude, I don't know how you train it out of you. Like that's like I fall out of love in games because I cannot control my tilt. I get so pissed when I lose, and I always am like, I can work through it. Work on your mentality, but I can't. I get so mad.
I still remember the one time when there was that earthquake in LA and we were playing a Blitz match together.
Oh my God, why is my desk shaking? Is there an earthquake going on?
Me and Dina are running in the circles like, it's an earthquake, it's an earthquake. Guys, it's the game point. Get the fuck out of my room.
Bro, you made me lose the match. I was so pissed.
We had to get the clip.
Yeah, but it's just like, it's not that serious, but also at the same time, it
feels so. I mean, as a kid, like I really relate to you saying all the pressure once you got into school was off. Like I kind of hated chess a lot of my childhood too. And it was just to get into college. When you lose, it just feels like the world is over because it feels like, and then guess what? When you get rejected from college, it just feels even worse.
Because it's a double loss too.
Yes.
Like you lose the game, you lose the
everything.
tournament.
Yes.
Yeah. And then you lose your chances to get into school. I think that's one of the issues I had was my parents would always also tie it like not into just you lost the game, but also, oh, you lost this opportunity or you lost this. And it was like, oh.
My dad, when I was a kid, if I'd lose a game, he'd be like, it's because you went to that birthday party last weekend instead of studying. And then you just start like, I can't live my life because then if I lose at chess, it's because I should be optimizing all of my time for chess.
Yeah, there's definitely this mentality that you got to optimize it, which I don't necessarily disagree with. Once again, if that is your life goal, is to be a really good chess player, you do need, anything, doesn't need to be chess. You have to optimize it because it's really difficult and it's really competitive. And chess is a game that there's a reason why the top players start so young, unless you're Magnus Carlsen, which you're, I don't know, gifted, talented, whatever you want to say.
But he also started young, sure, not 3 or 4, but like what, 6?
Yeah, 6 or 7. But I think the game is just very difficult. And it was definitely an experience going through it. I would say by 2017, it got a lot worse before it got better because I won Canadian Women's Championships, so the zonals in 2016, and I got to play World Cup in 2017. And World Cup is like kind of a big deal because it's the final step before you can finally play.
Yeah, it's so cool. Did you ever play the World Blitz or Rapid Championship?
I've never played.
Would you ever want to?
I would. I've definitely wanted to. Right now, it's a different story. We don't need to get into that right now, but yeah, I've always wanted to. It's just a matter of like, does this make sense? Like
I really want to play. So I got invited to play this year and I can't make it because I just wouldn't be able to study. But one day, if I ever have time, I'd love to optimize for Blitz, which I think there's ways you could do it, like learn really sneaky lines, be very tight on opening memorization, don't show your repertoire and surprise people over the board, and then just like play a ton of practice Blitz games in those openings. I'd love to just one day out of the blue come and play that. And I know the results wouldn't be good, but it is a dream of mine if I ever had time. It's just like chess takes so much time and I just can't sacrifice my life to play, but it would be so cool.
In the years that I've been living with you, I don't think I've ever seen Alex study openings.
The only time I study opening is when we're playing chess tournaments. So like I need motivation to do it and then I study.
Even in the openings, Alex is a very gifted chess player. She's very strong in the end game. She has a lot of natural intuition, but when I hear you saying memorize sneaky lines, okay, I won't knock it till I see it.
Well, again, it's because I can't just do it randomly. But when we were playing tournaments again, I would spend a lot of time reviewing openings because there was a reason to do it. I don't like studying, but if there's a motivation, I will. And the idea of like optimizing just for one time control to me is like an interesting hypothesis that if I had time, I would do.
That's fair.
Yeah, she's also such a busy lady. She was organizing Botez Chess Camp and doing the play test for her own game, handling like all of our arrangements, making sure we were all doing okay. And like, it was crazy.
And prepping theory.
I was just so busy. I don't even know how she does all of that all at once. So
I appreciate it, ladies. That's very nice. Thank you.
But it's true. See, the reason I like Blitz so much is because you're opening, like obviously very different, right? I like Blitz and Bullet because you don't need to worry too much about your opening. It's kind of like, do you blunder or not?
I agree, but if you know your openings early on, it saves you so much time. And like my theory is if you do a lot of practice games in those openings and you understand the middle games and you see the kinds of tactics you can fall for more often.
Absolutely. I 100% agree with you. It'd be a really good test because I also think that Blitz, Bullet, and Classical and Rapid, of course, are just completely different games.
Yes. Like, and like who is optimizing purely for Blitz, you know? Like, I don't like, I would go turbo obsessive, like live and breathe it for 3 months and see what happens.
We should give you a goal. Like if you hit it, there should be like a reward.
That would be cool.
I think.
But it would have to be around a big event and something like the world, maybe next year's World Blitz Championship.
We can do a last longer.
Yeah.
See who ends up higher ranked.
Last longers, for those of you who don't know, it's kind of a poker tournament. It's a poker term, and it's if you're playing in a poker tournament, whoever makes it further, since only 15% of people cash in poker tournaments, get some kind of reward.
Yeah, but obviously in chess, you don't really necessarily get knocked out unless someone actually makes it to like the quarterfinal or whatever.
But Andrea, you're actually studying for chess now because you're going to play in Pogchamps. Are you motivated?
This sounds very ironic next to World Blitz.
Andrea, so you're in Pogchamps.
No. But I mean, like, it is motivating to play any tournament, and it's super Pogchamps.
In general, I do still study openings. Like, even when we do film chess videos, I always try to prep just because I don't like losing on camera.
Yeah, Andrea actually does play London.
There's a lot of theory in the London. There's the Joe Baba London, and there's a lot of sidelines, okay? And I don't play the London versus the Pyrrhic. Thank you very much.
If I could have Andrea's interest in openings.
It's not interest, it's just that I know that a little bit of prep will take me a long way. And especially since we don't play so much chess, when we do and we are filming it, I don't want to be shit, you know? It's like, I always feel so bad when I'm like, we're chess creators, but we're not even studying. And then you play and then you get destroyed. So I do, like, throughout our filmings, I will always do a bit of prep. I am playing in a chess tournament. We'll see how that goes. I am doing prep, but it doesn't compare to any of this.
Wait, isn't Tyler 1 literally higher rated Blitz?
Hey.
No. Tyler 1 only plays rapid.
Really?
I don't know what the time control is for.
Dude, Tyler 1 can't beat you, Andrea. Can he?
I mean, I'm going to play my hardest, but I'm not going to underestimate him.
Do you have a message to Tyler 1?
I don't have a message to Tyler 1, just that I will be beating him.
Can you say
if I lose to Tyler 1, I will retire
look, think
from
about
chess.
it this way.
Wait, say it again. That's a great clip.
If I lose to Tyler 1, I will retire from chess. But honestly, like, I feel much better. For example, when you're saying chess camp, like, chess camp was my absolute worst tournament because Alex and I were filming YouTube videos every morning. We were doing vlogs. I was directing. Like, none of my brain could focus on the chess. Not like it can focus that much more, but it's definitely going to be much better than when you have to host a tournament yourself.
Yeah.
So I'm expecting at least better results than chess camp because I know that I'll have a little bit of time to prep. But I think during chess camp, I had to just completely turn my brain off and just accept that I'm going to lose every game because I couldn't study at all.
You drew one.
Yeah. Yeah. And then she cried.
Unrelated. Correlation, not causation or something like that.
But okay, I do want to go back to a little bit of your life story really quick. So you dedicate your entire life playing chess since you're 3 to chess so that you can get into a really good school. How does the college application process go? And did you reach the dreams that you set out to?
My college applications were a mess. Partly my fault because after I qualified for the World Cup and then I lost in the World Cup in the first round to Natalia Pognina, I just like told my parents, guys, surely this is enough for college, right? Like, I'm a 1 year away. I've already sent in a ton of applications for early, whatever it's called.
And what schools were you dreaming to get into? Just the Ivies?
Yeah, the Ivies. Really, Harvard was the dream school. Harvard's been a dream school since I was like really young, like 7, 8 maybe. And then I also applied to Cambridge.
Got it.
No, I think I applied to Oxford. Now I don't remember. Mm-hmm. But yeah, anyways, none of them went very well. I did okay on the SATs and it was all fine. Like, I thought I would probably get into one of these and I did. But then I applied for financial aid. And
you got into...
Well, I think it was... I can't remember now if it was Columbia or Chicago or something. Chicago. I know it's not an Ivy, but it's like that's style of school. Yeah, and then they were like, we'll consider you, stuff like that. And then it was like, oh, do you need to apply for financial aid? And I was like, yes. So it's like, got rejected. But it's okay.
What did that feel like?
Terrible. Fucking terrible.
Did it feel worse than losing at any chess tournament?
Honestly, at that point, it did not. Because I think I was just so mentally exhausted. Like, I'd spent 13 years of my life, 6 hours a day, playing chess basically every single day. Like, I never took a break. When I was at these tournaments, I never, like, yes, I would go out sometimes. But for example, at the 2014 World Youth Chess Championships, I went to South Africa. And I cannot tell you what anything outside of the airport, the bus, the hotel, the other bus to the playing venue and the playing venue looked like. That's it. That's my whole experience.
That's what traveling as a chess player is like. You go to all these countries, but you see nothing because the one day you have off, you're so exhausted from the chess.
Yeah, the one day you have off, you have to study for the next day.
Yeah.
But you and Dad do get to see some sightseeing and
Dad
traveling
would
when you did,
force
right?
me to do sightseeing.
Which I always thought was so wholesome. Like whenever I'd go play, it would be really depressing to be that. But I'd hear stories from Alex and Dad and see things.
But then I
and
stopped
like how you
traveling with
guys
Dad,
did
and
it.
then I just got so lazy because I'm
Yeah.
so tired on the
But
day
you
off.
need the dad to push you out.
Yeah.
Yeah. I definitely had some better experiences at more chill events. So it's actually funny that after I got into University of Toronto, which is fine, like once again, I was personally pretty happy with my decision. With my parents, not so much. They were much less happier when I decided to drop out. That's a different story.
And I know I'm partially to blame for that.
Yeah, I think my mom was like, so did Alex put you up to this?
Oh God.
It all started with that game when you were 6.
I'm going to be honest. I made both, not made, but influenced Andrea and Nemo to drop out of college.
We appreciate you for that, though.
Do your parents regret that decision now?
My parents are still, every time I meet them, they're like, when are you going back to school?
Really? They
Yeah.
still want you to go
Do
back
your
to school
parents
now.
dislike me?
No.
Are you sure?
Yeah, no, I'm sure they very much love you.
Are you sure?
Yeah, my mom especially. Because you graduated, right? Like, in their head, they're like, oh, Alex is so cool. She like did all these, and she graduated. Because I so clearly remember when we were 14 at like Tremzo and stuff, and you were in Stanford, you were working on your startup. And my mom was like, oh yeah, you should get into Stanford. I'm like, I don't know if I'm getting into Stanford, Mom. But yeah.
Okay, so
university
back
was
to
fun.
you get into Toronto.
Yeah, U of T. And
Did you
then-
take a break from chess to focus on school, or what happened then? Because you said your parents didn't care after you got into college.
They like truly did not care at all. Any chess events I played in university was kind of like, well, am I just gonna quit? No, right? Like I don't know. It's so hard to just quit. You can't just quit cold turkey. So I played some collegiate events with pretty good success. Like we won Canadian university championships and stuff like that. But it was all for fun. Like I didn't personally care that much anymore if I was winning or losing games. And my parents didn't care like whatsoever. Like she was just there. She didn't even say anything. She used to always, I don't know if you remember this, but she always used to come over to the board and
Oh my goodness.
Oh, I remember.
yeah.
Oh, she came. Oh, she was one of those.
She would like, yeah,
that
yeah.
terrified me so much whenever my opponents had their parents. Did you play against her do you remember any of this?
Oh, I mean, we were on the Olympiad team, and your mom always scared me a little bit.
Yeah. She definitely had high hopes for my games. I feel like I could have played so much better, but honestly, it's fine. The Olympiads are a different story. But yeah, in university, we were just playing it for fun. And she actually ended up organizing like an exchange trip where she took a bunch of like Canadian schools and like Princeton, a couple of Ivies to play in China and Tianjin. And it was a lot of fun. And we did like a little chess exchange program. And it was like really chill. And it was really nice to just sort of play it as a fun game with friends rather than you have to win for these reasons, XYZ. But instead now it's just like, oh yeah, look, if you want to draw against your opponent in 20 moves, like what do we care? But yeah, that was a pretty good tournament. And then unfortunately COVID hit. But after COVID hit, it got crazy because you were already streaming, but then I started streaming with you guys.
Yeah, so actually at the start, Nemo was on our channel for a while too.
Nemo was on Botezlive.
Yeah, and then we split up after. But do you remember how you got into streaming?
Yeah, we played a match, right?
Yeah, so it was this moment where I was trying to get more females into chess streaming. I was like, I should give back to the community, and I had some donors. So I would organize a weekly match with like usually a female chess content creator, and then we donated to like the US Chess Federation for women's events, which was pretty cool. Honestly, I should do stuff like that again. And you were one of the matches. Yeah. And I remember like our match was pretty popular, and I was like, Nemo, I think there's something here for you in streaming.
Do you remember the result?
Is this when you adopted me?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
But what was the time control?
3-2, I think.
3-2?
Or 3-1.
Yeah, I didn't play
Alex
very well in
doesn't like
those
increment.
Blitz matches. Increment is messed up. I need to flag people.
Yeah, this was before I knew what pre-moves were.
Okay, Nemo. So you know our score in classical, I beat you 75% of the time.
That's true. This is true. For out of 2 games, Alex is a 1.5.
I don't care. Once you were a 10-year-old, the other time you were depressed and retired, but it doesn't matter.
It counts still. But yeah, I was like, it was really interesting coming back to chess during COVID because for whatever reason, like I was already taking a chill in university. And then coming back, I was like, oh, I gotta prove myself or stand up for myself, I guess. And it's also, you know, the community, right? They can be a little like, oh, you're a woman grandmaster. You have these, like you should be winning. And it can be a very tough mental sort of game in that sense. But I think what really messed me up was I won Canadian Women's Zonals, which was online in 2021, the year after streaming. And then I played World Cup. And that was like, oh my gosh, why did I go play World Cup?
I don't know why any non-pro player would want to go to World Cup. It's like you're signing up to get beat up and humiliated.
So I lost to Vaishali. She's like a grandmaster. And it was really just ironic in a way because she came third the year I came first in the 2014 World Youth Chess Championships. And it was like, and she was on her way to becoming an actual like factual grandmaster. And I was like, oh my gosh, our lives are so different. And like in my head, I'm still 14-year-old me, you know, like not saying that I thought I could beat her or anything, but I'm always going into these type of events. Like, I don't think you can play chess if you go in with the mindset that you can't win. Like that's just, you can't. So I was going in obviously with the mindset that I can do well. Then I lost both of my games and it was like, okay, you know what? This was a bad idea. So I tried to not play classical, but I think I was really.
I think I remember how much this tournament impacted you because I think you were like really upset with classical chess and really was like, as a streamer, I'm never playing classical chess again after this.
Well, do you think chess I hate it when people ask me this question. I'm going to be honest, but do you think chess actually taught you anything about life? Because chess forces you to go through so many difficult, painful moments. And like, how are we not better at dealing with painful moments in life when you grow up playing chess?
Girl, I don't know. Chess, honestly, might have messed me up more than it actually taught me anything. But it did teach me the importance of therapy.
Hands up if you've been personally victimized by chess.
I'll raise my hand if I wasn't sipping coffee.
I just flashback to Andrea unretiring and playing 4 kids in a row.
Hey, now I'm playing Pogchamps, so look who made it, ladies.
No, I know. It's just that short is very funny.
I know.
There's when you go play those tournaments, when you girls go play those tournaments, are you ever just like, why did we do this?
Oh, absolutely. No, after that, I said, I will never play another tournament in the US. I was like, this is the worst thing ever. I'm going up against 13-year-olds who do nothing but chess 6 hours a day. I have not studied a chess book in a couple years. I don't even remember how the pieces move. Like, I'm just here to like dance monkey. Just kidding. Not really. But it was terrible. And the tournaments I will play are the ones in Spain where it's retired people and they have a juicy FIDE ELO from back in the day.
Dude,
and I'm one of them.
Go back to Sardinia with the older retirees.
And those are nice, but I do understand Nemo's thing of like, that is a huge time commitment. It's true. I still have to train even if it's like more fun. So it is a massive commitment. It's always going to take away from something else.
But winning feels so good.
It does.
You can win in other things, Alex.
No, I know. That's why I stopped playing. It just took too much of my life.
Yeah, I think it's fine to like play the game however you want. And that's kind of what I've realized after 2021. I really try to like not do it anymore. But I don't know. Man, it's so difficult to get out of something you've been doing your whole life.
It is. It's addicting. And it's such a huge, like we've spent such a large portion of our life on chess. Like, imagine never playing again. That's so.
I know,
it's
but that's
heartbreaking.
not true though. Like I think having influence and doing chess content, even if you're not playing competitive chess, I think it's more powerful than going and playing tournaments.
So I've thought about that, and one of my issues with chess content, which is why it's not as interesting for me, is because like at my core, I'm a deeply competitive person. Like I would love to play someone who's my level and we're both trash talking and that brings out my authentic self.
But
when I'm like playing lower rated people and I have to make it interesting, like
no,
it's just it doesn't hit my heart.
But that's why like we've been doing casting where we're literally casting 2000, 2100s. Like they might not be your level yet, but I think that has been the goal, to like get chess content to a place where it can be raw, authentic, and you're not just like playing a 1500. No offense to the 1500s, you guys are lovely, but it isn't as competitive. But I feel like trying to get it there as well and finding a way where we can make content where it is still competitive is also still part of the art.
I think it's so healthy that there are so many different types of chess content out there. It's crazy to say this because I've played so many years of competitive chess, but it was really at Botez camp that I finally realized, like, well, also thanks to you girls being like, you don't have to play, you know? Like, I know I really appreciate you guys hosting that event, but I got so many people telling me, like, you don't need to necessarily play competitive chess to be either part of the community or like have a sense of self-worth. Like, you don't need to tie in your chess rating, chess skills to your self-worth. And I've been doing that for such a long time, like up until last year, literally. And it took so long for my lie detector interview to come out because I was working through ketamine therapy for the better part of this year. And then I was like, oh my gosh, I sound so negative. And I was like, I'm in such a better mind space right now because I made the recognition that I have very clear reasons for playing classical if I were to ever play it again. And in the meantime, you know, I think my role sort of in the chess content space is much better served at like, you know, making fun content. And I personally really enjoy interacting with people of all elos because life stories are just so fascinating to me. I like talking to people. It doesn't necessarily need to be about how good you are. It's kind of like a medium to meet people without it being too awkward. Like,
absolutely.
I feel like it's so hard to just go and talk to people.
If you're going to play a game, focus on the game. I'm one of those people, if you have a social gathering and like people are socializing when it's their turn to play the game, it actively really upsets me.
Really?
Yes.
Alex is competitive.
Wait, so are you against what Nemo is saying?
I like games for the sport and the competition of it. There's so many ways you can socialize, and that's great. But there's
you don't like chess social clubs?
No, I just like competing with somebody who like it feels good if you win and it burns when you lose. Like that's what I'm there for.
You've never seen Alex at a running club. She's gonna have to beat everyone.
No, I mean that's like the problem is like I can't. It's like if I go in a sauna and there's strangers I don't know there, I'm competing with them and like I don't want to be like that, but I need to outlast all of them in the sauna, and I've almost passed out a few times doing that. But it's like this inner thing that maybe I should work on this, I guess.
I think there's a happy medium. I have seen the sauna thing. It's really funny. Like even sometimes when we go to the gym and like I've weightlifted longer than Alex, so I can lift more weight. And like, I go grab a 20 and she's like on a 10, 15, and then she goes and grabs the 20. And I'm like, just because I'm doing something Alex doesn't mean, she's like, no, if you do it, I can do it. I'm like, it's really funny. I mean, that's just Alex's competitive nature. That's how our dad was.
That is how Alex is.
It's because my dad made me like this from a young age. Like he was so competitive. And when you grow up like that, like you can't, I can't take it out of my personality at this point.
Hence why I did ketamine therapy.
Maybe I just need to do therapy, man.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, it's honestly like I don't want to change anyone or like influence, but it's like, are you happy doing that? Like, are you happy with yourself when you outlast in the sauna?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
No, dude, I get an adrenaline rush and it's like, oh yeah, you Finnish old man, you think you can outlast me in the sauna? I don't care if you've been doing this for years. And then he leaves and I'm like, yeah.
Alex is just competing with people.
And the man's just like peacefully enjoying his evening. He has no idea what's going through her mind.
One time I was in a cold plunge and I was outlasting people and this kid comes in and I notice we're in there for 10 minutes and he doesn't do anything and he just looks at me. He's like, I know what you're doing.
Oh my God.
And I was like, I've met my match. And then we stayed in there. It's 20 minutes. And I was like, what? I would like to offer a draw. And he just nods. And we get out at the same time. And then really he's like, funny. I watch your chess videos. I was like, oh God. And then he's like, you're really pretty. And I'm like, how old are you, man? He's like, I'm 16. I was like, look, I like the confidence. You should talk to women your own age. And he's like...
Wait, that's really funny.
It was in Iceland.
Oh my God, that's so funny.
It was at the Blue Lagoon.
Hilarious. That's That's so funny. I love that story.
Wait, that's amazing.
Yeah.
You know what? That kid, he's got it going for him. Good for him.
Yeah,
You go, kid.
Yeah.
20 minutes in the ice plunge just to hit on a lady.
No,
That's more than some people are doing.
that was the only time in my life someone realized what I was doing. Like he actually called me out and I was like, I've met my match.
But do you think it's good that a 6-year-old recognizes that?
16.
16. Oh, 16 is better than 6.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
heard 6.
No,
but
he was
do you
16.
think it's like, I don't know. I mean,
Are
as long
you
as
trying to
you're
call me
happy-
immature?
Nemo the therapist.
As long as you're happy, that's what matters.
I just,
Okay.
I don't know if I can change this part of myself.
But I don't think it's necessarily about like needing to change it. It's like, do you want to change it at all?
I don't know.
It sounds like a pretty fun trait.
I'm curious for you, Nemo. I don't know if you're saying that you're less competitive or you just put less pressure on yourself. Would you say you're less competitive now?
I would say I just put less pressure on myself. So one thing that really changed for me is when I started playing poker when I was 21. Like I lost the World Cup. I was like, okay, well, you know, I don't really want to do this competitively anymore. Luckily that year I started playing poker and it was this amazing new game, a new outlet.
Alex Holso brought you into this.
Awesome.
There's a trend. So when are you going back to college? Alex comes in.
But it's worked out for you. You have a sick poker sponsor.
I love playing poker, and
Nemo won a full tournament the first year, I think.
God.
Like, it was really impressive, but continue.
The CPT, yeah.
Yeah.
Poker tour.
It's like
which
your
is-
first poker tournament, right?
No, not her first.
Not my
Okay.
first poker tournament, but it was the first poker tournament that I won outright.
Mm,
Yeah.
I remember that.
But I've won like a couple of sit and goes online, and they pay a lot better than chess does.
You don't say.
So, you know, I won Canadian Women's Championships, and it was like $1,000
Wow.
Canadian, not even
Wow.
US. Yeah, so it just made a lot more financial sense as well, on top of being mentally more relieving to play a different game competitively. And I'm not going to go as far as to say I'm a winning poker player or anything like that, but thanks to both sponsorships and thanks to opportunistic, tournaments, I've done pretty well. And yeah, it's really interesting to sort of go from one competitive game to another. As Alex knows herself, she's got so many like cash game wins, tournament wins. She has like a little poker trophy. It's
One
it's awesome.
poker trophy, but it's nice.
It's nice. It's cute. It was like what, $11K
Yeah.
for like
For a $500 buy.
Dude, that's
Yeah.
like not World Cup. I don't know.
Yeah.
World Cup winnings right there.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think that helped a lot. Yeah, so I just choose to channel my competitiveness in other ways. I can't be competitive in every game or as competitive in every game. I still play to win in chess, obviously. But I've also come to realize, like, life, if you put too much energy into everything, you just are not producing as good of a content, like as good of a product. And it's about prioritizing, hey, what can I do for chess that actually makes sense? And like I said at the start, it doesn't really make that much sense for me to play classical chess. Like, there's so many people better than me. And like, I'm not the most entertaining classical chess player. I play very dry openings. I'm Spanish one trick. So I just want to channel that in a different way that I think more people can enjoy.
Which you have been doing. Like, I was really impressed when you shared your demographics on Instagram and you have almost a 50-50 split for women and men. Our audience, I think, is 90% male. I think when we started, it was like 95, 98. So it's more just like chess is a really hard game to cater sometimes as like popular culture to everyone. And like seeing your brand develop this year, I genuinely feel like you are finding what's you. And it's also going, you still, I'm very curious as well. Do you still feel a pressure to kind of represent that you're a woman grandmaster in any way? Or is that also something you've let go of?
It's something that I've let go of a lot because, okay, so funnily enough, I think a lot of people just don't understand what the Woman Grandmaster title really is.
Can you explain
What
to
are
the
their
audience?
misconceptions?
Yeah, it's like, when I don't personally have anything against, like, for example, if a like newspaper or something puts Andrea as a chess master, but like, what does chess master really mean? Like, I don't personally care at all, but somebody sees that and like, oh, they're so good. But they'll see chess woman grandmaster and they'll also be like, oh, that's so good. Like, that's so good.
They don't know the difference between master and woman
I understand why
grandmaster.
people in the chess world are upset about it, because people sacrifice so much in their life to get those titles. And if they see somebody who didn't reach the same standards that they did and sacrifice for getting the same recognition, it feels bad.
Absolutely. I absolutely understand where it comes from. And I actually had a co-host who's a grandmaster tell me he gets annoyed because sometimes people will clickbait with women grandmaster, omit the women part of women grandmaster.
Yes, I've had this grandmaster friends also tell me they're bothered by it. So and it's
I try to not do it, but woman grandmaster is just such an inconvenient.
You can't be. You can't adding woman behind everything.
Yeah, it's so awkward. I just wish it was a different name almost, just so
woman grandmistress.
Just grandmistress maybe. But I obviously have a part of my identity based around being a good chess player. But I also think that at this point, my own conversations around the title and around being a chess player are much more that we want to get more girls playing the game. A lot of people just know me oh, she's a grandmaster. And I try to tell them I'm a woman grandmaster. And then obviously come the comments are oh, but is that sexist? I'm no, it's not. It's really not. It's just that it's a completely different title. In fact, it's 200 rating points lower rated than the actual grandmaster title. And for me personally, that's totally fine. I'm not necessarily all about women titles because I do think that at some point we should encourage joint participation and joint events. They're obviously the other side of it is that they're already all open events. So technically anyone can go play them. But we're still at a point you guys yourself mentioned, there's sometimes an insane difference, only 5% of a chess club might be girls. And it's just a numbers game at that point. So yeah, I definitely do mention that I'm a woman grandmaster and will use it for content and stuff like that. But I don't think it's coming from a place where I'm oh yeah, I achieved this title. This is so cool. But much more of, yeah, I've played a ton of chess. Yeah. Dude, you don't need to feel bad about losing or this is just something that makes me stand out a little bit from the population. Kind of like having a PhD in a subject or something along those lines.
But you wouldn't have a woman PhD. Yep.
Exactly. Yeah, but that's kind of interesting. So I could use the FIDE Master title, but then it sounds less cool.
That's the thing. FIDE Master, people are what the heck does that mean? Yeah. What's FIDE?
Yeah, exactly.
My take is that I think on the broader scale, popular culture, social media following, I think it's better to just use Grandmaster because not Grandmaster, but I think whatever you choose, just because it's going to get more eyeballs understanding the message you're trying to get across. And I completely understand that for professional chess players, that feels like it takes away from them. But if you think about how many people scrolling and maybe it's a young girl and she sees, oh, a Nemo fashion reel, oh, she's a grandmaster. To them, they're not going to comprehend the difference between woman grandmaster and grandmaster. I think in the competitive chess world, it's something else. But I feel when you're trying to make viral content, you're trying to package it. My take is that you're bringing more good to the algo and to the people that you're trying to connect with. But while also obviously recognizing that in the competitive chess world, it is not the same. But that's not your world right now.
Yeah, I would say the competitive chess world and the real world, or whatever you want to call it, are so different because a lot of people enjoy chess, but they don't necessarily either have studied the nuances of the chess world or even need to care. I'm not saying anyone needs to care about it because it's so nuanced. But there are so many things about stuff that people just don't necessarily pay attention to or wouldn't know is happening.
Okay, well, maybe we should move a little bit away from chess because you found other passions as well. Can you tell us a bit of how you transitioned, or even you could just start generally with what happened once you got into content creation, whatever shares your story better?
Yeah, so content creation has been a crazy journey because I, with chess, I felt it was tied into that for so long.
You couldn't do other stuff.
Yeah, I couldn't do other stuff.
Stay in your lane vibes.
Yeah, wherever I go, it would just follow me, right? And then once again, this all happened at Botez Chess Camp. Botez Chess Camp was a revelation in my life.
Oh,
yeah,
okay, well, that makes me happy.
Yeah, it was so good. And a large part of it is really thanks to the organization and stuff. I got so much fashion content.
Yeah, it was awesome. And that's what it should be. It's you'll get to hang out, play chess with your friends, and you get to do other things and be yourself.
It was so cute. I feel I got so much good content, and one of my best performing videos out of Botez Chess Camp had nothing to do with, sure it did, but it was oh, at that time there was a specific trend that was like outfits I wore like as a whatever, right? So I did outfits I wore as a competitive chess player, and that did like really well. And I was like, oh my gosh, I should just totally do more like fashion content. And I've been doing like outfit transitions and fashion content for like a few years now, but never like on a posting every day kind of basis. And at Botez Chess Camp, I was really focused on like, okay, I want one chess reel a day, one fashion short a day, and let's see how he does. And it did really well. So I was really happy about that. I'm also very lucky that I've got a team that can help me with chess content, so I don't have to be so hands-on with it every single day. I still try to give them like input and make changes, and obviously I play the actual games. But yeah, being able to sort of put some of my energy and focus on more creative, non-objective, like whatever it is. Like poker is still pretty objective because I try to play it competitively and I try to study and, you know, win these type of events. But with fashion and with creative projects, there's no real right or wrong. It's kind of how you perceive it. So for myself personally, I just think that doing that is such a healthy balance when I play both chess and poker pretty seriously. And what's also really fun is being able to sort of like make the two worlds meet. Like I've always loved fashion and I've always loved like styling myself, and I hope to style my friends. And
we should
do a video where you style
That would
us.
be awesome.
I would love to do that. It would be so. But both of you guys have such good styles already.
Yeah, if you compare what we're wearing, what you're wearing.
These are your shoes.
I know, but I keep looking at that top, and I'm like, oh,
no, I know the fit looks incredible.
Yeah, I'll send it to
and
you
the claw, the watch with the bracelet attached, the nails, it's fantastic.
Thank you, girls. Well, you guys have both been like really encouraging of like that sort of transition. And one of my, like, I just remember the lie detector test from last year that we did, and Andrea was like, oh, Nemo has the best. I was like, oh my gosh, like literally made me tear up.
Oh, that's so sweet.
And I was
Makes
like,
me so happy to hear how like pivotal some of these moments were. I never even knew that. I never thought about it like that.
Like, I don't think you guys realize how much of a positive impact you've made on not necessarily like just chess, but like on the people around you, the creators you bring in into your space.
No, that is one of the most meaningful things for me to hear.
Yeah, I know like being kind people are really important, like for both of you, and I just want to say you guys both, like, I don't know, you embodied that so well.
Thanks.
Yeah, like I really, after Botez Chess Camp, I was just like, okay, first of all, why am I playing classical chess? This is a great question.
We heard that a few times.
To get the fashion reels, that's why, Nemo. If you want to get the what you wore to tournament a day, you have to play the tournament, unfortunately.
Exactly. And then secondly, I was like, oh my gosh, wait, you girls are so right. I could do fashion content. And it doesn't need to be like tied necessarily directly into chess. So I just started, you know, exploring like options, and there's just a lot of fashion creators out there. So it's really difficult to stand apart. And I'm also not as delusional to think like I'm doing something exceptionally different from anyone. So I just try to tie it into chess sometimes, because thankfully I do have a really large female audience. And I was like, I'm so grateful for this. I'm so grateful for this. And I would say they've helped each other a ton, where I like do collaborations with makeup brands, and now I've been like doing a lot of outreach to fashion designers and stuff. And I got to walk Paris Fashion Week.
What did that feel like? That must have been a huge dream of yours.
It was a huge dream of mine. So this past year, I've done a little modeling work, and sort of as a tie-in, because like I kind of mentioned, anybody can sort of create fashion content. And I also want to say anybody can actually like model. Like, it feels like there's so much stigma around the word model, and I get it, I do, but also at the same time, it's 2025, guys. We have AI coming. Like, let everyone chill. Like, look, if someone wants to do it, just let them do it.
Yeah, exactly.
So my personal opinion on that is it's a great medium for expressing your fashion interest, if that makes sense. Like, it could be as well as a mannequin wearing it. But yeah, Paris Fashion Week was a really big deal, and I did the outreach to the designer. Her name is Ella, and she lives in LA, and she's awesome. for a dress actually for my FlyQuest shoot, which was I was signed to CLG, Counter Logic Gaming, and another esports org a few years ago, but unfortunately they got sold. So this is my first esports org since then. I was like so excited about, and I'm still very excited about, because next league season should be really good. But yeah, I got to work with them on a like announcement video, and I reached out to the designer, and then a few weeks later, she was like looking for models for her Paris Fashion Week shoot, and I just was like, hey, can I come walk in it? And I love Paris, and I especially love like the Paris haute couture sort of vibe. Obviously this is not one of the like haute couture shows, but it was still really cool to experience that vibe with all the photographers there and the crowd. Yeah, it was just exceptional, and it was really short. Like they're not a long show. You just do like sort of one orbit, and I didn't even really have a chance to practice because right before that I took a red eye from Toronto the night before. Because I was wrapping up a sponsored sort of like week with Tradeify. So I just got back that week from Japan, and then I was learning futures trading while I was in Japan, and I was doing futures trading on stream, and I was like,
what is futures trading?
It's a very specific type of trading. So basically, instead of actually owning like a specific stock, you predict.
Why did Alex give me that look when I asked?
Oh, you don't want to know what I've done, and I don't want to talk about it.
Wait, what have you done?
No, I did worse than that. But Nemo, you continue.
What have you been doing? What do you mean?
Now you gotta tell us. You can't tell us something.
Fuck around and find out with leverage is all I'm gonna say.
Yeah, so it's like leverage trading. So you're more like predicting on where the price of a stock is gonna go, whether it's up or down.
Got it.
So Alex had maybe a not so good experience.
You know, it's
all right.
Yeah, but
you're not losing if you're learning.
But okay, so you should actually try this because it's simulated. It's simulated.
Mama's taking a break.
Okay, so it's not like trading coins or like crypto.
No.
You're like
but you can also do it with crypto. Not
you can not. I mean, look, to each their own. Not like what's the disclaimer? Not financial advice. Not legal financial advice.
But
the brand
don't do it.
The one I was specifically doing it for was literally just like NASDAQ. Like,
got it. Okay,
yeah, it wasn't
stocks.
anything crazy. But yeah, it was leverage trading. It's actually on their platform. It's simulated, so you're not using real money. But if you do like hit the target, pass the exam, basically, and then you can get a funded account, and then you can actually make money off of that. But it's a really good tool. So I was doing that, and before then, I was like, yeah, I got this. And then I go into like this like streams, and I'm like planning out content. I'm like, wait a minute. And they're like the first day. I feel like I did a whole university crash course for futures trading in like a week. And anyways, after that, I was like, okay, off to Paris Fashion Week. So it was just a really hectic week. But I'm extremely grateful for being able to do so many different projects because I think it keeps my brain really active. And sort of like Alex kind of said, being competitive just helps with that a lot. Like you just want to do well in it. I'm not going to say I have the best walk or I'm the best futures trader or anything like that, but I want to do my best at everything.
Okay, so what are your aspirations from here?
So right now, I am trying to make sure my chessboard launch is actually going to be...
Okay, so tell us about this chessboard.
Yeah, I've been designing this for the better half of this year, and it's really just like a reflection of sort of my culture, so being Chinese born, and with the jade pieces. And there's still some changes coming, but I love like Chinese aesthetics and the culture around it. So I wanted to make something that was a little reminiscent of those little like chess sets you can get in San Francisco and Chinatown.
Yeah.
And like make it into sort of like a piece that would sit really well in your living room and hopefully people like play. But yeah, I love, like I mentioned, kind of subjective arts these days, a lot of creative work. And this is just something that I've been working on. So I hope people will buy it. That's number one. And then I have like my own clothing collaboration coming, which is going to be fun. And in the meantime, I'm really trying to, I'm trying to grow sort of the chess sort of community even more. I think a lot of people right now sort of get into it and they're like, they play a few games and they go to these events and stuff, and it's fine. But what would be really, really cool is having, I know you don't love chess social clubs, so I'm not going to suggest this to you.
No, I do when it's with friends who are higher rated than me.
Okay, so I do play against grandmasters.
I've been trying to advocate for us doing like a weekly, not weekly, but monthly, bi-weekly meetups in LA.
I would like to do
a nice cafe and people come and play and get to know each other.
I want to contribute to the chess culture. And you know what? I could always find high rateds to play with. Like the Blitz Society bar in Paris. If I lived in Paris, I would go there because it's fun and it's incredible vibes.
I spent so much time there. I've literally had a birthday party there.
I love that.
Yeah.
I love that place.
Yeah.
Okay, but continue.
No, I was going to say, no, that's kind of the vibe. Like, I just think it's good. And I'm just going to keep advocating for the fact that we can have super serious classical chess tournaments where you're not allowed to throw the king and you're not allowed to like slam the table and whatnot. But we can also have tournaments where, you know, Karu throws the king into the audience. I think we can have events where people go to the chess club or like these social chess events and there's no clocks and everyone's just having a drink and everyone's just conversing with each other. You can eat at the table, you know, you can check your phone. You can do all these things that you're not traditionally supposed to do in a classical chess event and take chess. You can take chess as seriously or as unseriously as you want, obviously still respecting the game and respecting the people that have like gotten the game to where it is. But yeah, I think I'm just going to keep advocating for that and showing people that the game can indeed be really, really fun. And also at the same time, if you want to, you know, beat everybody, you can do it. You can work on that as well. Yeah.
And looking back at everything that it took to get you here, is there anything you would have changed?
I would have started with not worrying too much about my competitive career a lot earlier. Like I don't know. I was still worried about like, oh, what do people think about me if I lose this match or something like that? Maybe a year ago. Like,
oh wow.
Yeah, literally a year ago. Like I was so like by the time I was drawing Andrea, I didn't care.
Hey buddy, I don't know why I'm the baseline for failure.
But like, you know, maybe a few years before our game, if I drawn you, I would have been so miserable. But literally at Botez camp, I was just like, you know what,
Andrea.
Well, it's just because you're lower rated, not for any.
Well, she was also 0 and 6.
All right, I was running the show and I was sick. I was literally on narcotics every night because I was in so much pain. It was
I remember
the worst tournament of my life. To be fair,
out to like our big patio green grass area, and Andrea was like dying on the couch. I was just like
lying on the floor in pain. It was terrible.
It was sad. So, but yeah, I just want to like channel my competitive energy into poker, focus on making chess fun. And if I ever return to playing competitive chess at any point, I hope it's going to be Blitz and Bullet because it's, I like the faster time controls.
Same.
Yeah.
And when is your chess set out to buy?
Probably in like December.
Okay.
Yeah. For pre-orders. Yay.
Okay, Nemo. Well, we're going to wrap up soon, but before we do, you've really been an advocate on Twitter for FIDE to take accountability and to look into what Kramnik has done. Is there anything you want to share on that? And I guess before we do, I'll give context for people who might not know. But pretty recently, chess grandmaster Daniel Naroditsky, who was a friend of ours, passed away. We don't know the cause of death yet, and I don't want to imply causation, but we do know that leading up to it, he was the victim of a lot of baseless cheating accusations from former world champion Kramnik, who had been coming after Danya for over a year. And now a lot of the community after Danya's passing has been trying to make sure that there is some justice and that in the future, cheating accusations and attacks to somebody's reputation are handled better and that there's responsibility in the international chess community.
Yeah, I think it's a really just like truly sad and tragic event. I don't think that like anyone saw what was coming, nor could you have. I think as a community, myself personally, like it just wasn't really on my radar, and so much could have been said before everything happened to now, where we can only hope that this doesn't happen again. Obviously, we don't know what happened, but with sort of how Kramnik has been making a lot of accusations, made videos, he made tweets, he made so many comments, even his comments afterwards. It's just something that I hope as a community we do not accept and we do not tolerate, especially now and hopefully in the future towards any other players. I personally did not imagine that Kramnik's comments would be something that people would necessarily take with any like, you know, like how could you? How could you possibly how could you possibly take anything he says, especially against Danya of all people? Seriously, Danya's like the sweetest soul. He would never cheat, never. And the fact that he took it that far, and you can clearly hear the, you know, pain in Danya's voice, especially over the last like couple of streams and in his podcasts. And he has so many moments where he's like, this is really affecting my mental. And for Danya, it's really tough. He really thought highly of everybody. And he cares about his integrity as a chess player very much. It meant a lot to him. And for Kramnik to sort of attack that baselessly is absolutely insane, especially after you can hear, you can really see it. So yeah, it's just really, really, really tragic. And I don't know exactly what can be done. I don't know how we can make, you know, people take accountability for things they have said, but I do hope that it's something we can work on, whether it's as a community, whether it's like an organization. But yeah.
Yeah, I mean, Danya was one of the highest integrity people I knew, and I would bet everything I have that he would never cheat. And I do think it's really important that the community spoke out, and I'm really appreciative that you did and that Andrea did. Danya and I were, you know, pretty good friends throughout. We went to college together, and we do a lot of commentary and collabs after. And when he passed, I was just so emotional about it that it was really hard for me to take action because I was grieving myself. And like every time I would think about it, I'd just be flooded with grief, and I couldn't even think straight to be able to do something, which now at least try and honor his legacy, both by trying to spread that message and checking on FIDE and making sure that they do the ethics investigation properly, which I know they're doing, and we're going to wait for the results now. But also together with Danya's family, Peter, who runs the Charlotte Chess Center, they are trying to raise $3 million. One, to have a memorial tournament for Danya, and two, to create scholarships to, you know, give forward to the next generations. And I know that Daniel cared so much about the Charlotte Chess Center. I remember when he was deciding to move there, and he was telling me how like that's a place where he really felt like himself, and it was a breath of fresh air, because before then he wasn't considering like, you know, going to get a master's at Stanford, but it wasn't what his heart wanted to do. He always really wanted to do chess, and Charlotte gave him this. So I think to be able to give back to the community that supported Danya and to support his legacy in this way with the support of his family is really beautiful. So I'm glad that, you know, they found a way to do it. But I agree, now we have to make sure that in the chess community, this doesn't happen to other people. There should be a better process. If somebody has accusations, it shouldn't be public, because you could ruin someone's reputation like this. It should be handled privately. And the thing about FIDE is I'm glad they're doing something about it now, but actually putting pressure on them publicly and socially is what drove them to do that. So actually, as a community, people do have a lot of power to speak out when things like this happen. And that's something that I want to make sure that I'm doing in the future. It's just really hard sometimes, because when you're so busy, like I didn't even realize the extent to which these accusations had gotten to Danya. If I had watched the interview with Dina, it would have been a different story, but there's so much content. It's so hard to keep up with, you know, everything.
I think it's really beautiful that Peter, Charlotte Chess Center, and hopefully we'll be able to help with those funds for the tournament. And it's honestly just like still such a shock, I would say, because the fact that this was ongoing for 2 years effectively.
Yeah.
For me to also speak about Danya is something that I spent a lot of time thinking out, because I wanted to talk about his story properly, talk about FIDE properly, talk about his memory and honor him. So I did all of that in a separate video. I'll put it in the description below. But we did also want to bring it up just because Peter did just make the Danya Fund. Everyone's thinking on their own, how can we do something to continue to remember him? And this is why we continue to talk about it, and why I appreciate when Gotham Chess covers a tournament by FIDE. He brings up that we still don't know if they're really dealing with this properly. Like, sure, now there's an investigation, but it was only done after the public pressure, after a lot of backlash to an extremely insensitive comment about his death. And is this ethics board? Who is this investigator? Is it coming from FIDE? We don't know. We're all waiting to get the updates. I will be playing Pogchamps. Anything that I win will be donating to the Danya Fund. I know Alex has just made a big donation. We're doing a charity stream. So obviously we're YouTubers and chess players are going to come together to talk about this fund. We will continue to talk about FIDE. I do think it's important that when there are a lot of high level coverage on these tournaments, we do remember that not to say things that have been said already 100 times. But Kramnik's had a lot of credibility remaining in the elitist chess world. And a lot of that is something that FIDE would heighten the credibility for, or do the opposite. And that's why it was so important that there was a stamp of disapproval or something talking out against this when this happened. So that's where the FIDE conversation comes from. And I think we're all continuing to try to be better in the chess community, whether that is through the love and the inspiration for the game that Danya often inspired in people. And I think like Anna Rudolph, even Nemo said, like, we all want to be better, even in the chess community, even if maybe it wasn't what we were interested so much anymore. Now it's something that has reminded me of the soul, like power and the meaning behind what it is, what we do. So we are always also open to additional ideas and feedback on that end. And just know that we are continuing to talk about it, continue to think about it. And when I do play my chess tournament, it will be in memory of Danya. And we can hopefully all continue to do that in the chess world. Well, guys, we are out of time. So, Nemo, thank you for coming on.
Thank you.
It was really nice to hear your story. I bet that a lot of people in the chess world and a lot of young kids, too, going through that same stress, trying to apply to college and get in the Ivies and putting a lot of the pressure. You know, it might not change the result if you take it a little easy on yourself, although a lot of times it is out of your control. We will link the Danya Fund in the description below. Hope you guys enjoyed this episode, and we'll see you guys later.